The draw. Puck sits in the circle, back to the blue line. Hatch keeps it in for Massena, flips it to Ramo. Ramo shot right across the goal mouth. Levine gets a whack at it, but it does not go on net. To the blue line, can't keep it in Hatch. Here comes Potsdam. Adams' headman on the wing, Matt Webster. His long headman pass goes into the corner, picked up by the Massena defenseman to the blue line, off a leg out to center ice. That was Aaron Leduc. Puck dumped right back in the Massena zone. Leduc gathers it in, left side of the net, lifts it high in the air, doesn't clear the zone, but Tubolino helps. Tubolino's headman pass intercepted. Levine has to come back for it. The puck sits there and is picked up by Murphy. Murphy for Potsdam at the red line. Gets by one. Here's Murphy. Makes a shift, but he's knocked off the puck by Ramo. Back checking. Puck comes to Hatch. He circles behind his own net. Comes out right side. Goes back the other way. He'll try the left side. Goes to the wing to Levine, who just tips it to the blue line. Out to center ice. Puck picked up by Danny Cook. Cook looks to headman. It goes to Webster, and Webster just dumps it in the Massena zone as both teams make changes. Out is the Derek Rupert line. Trying to clear the zone, does not. Puck kept in to the blue line. Check thrown by Rupert. Puck kept in by Potsdam. Cross ice pass. Here's Charlebois. He can bring it. His shot, the save, the rebound, cleared in behind. Potsdam controls in the corner. Webster gets tied up, flips it in behind. Nick Toth will gather it in there. Looks to move it ahead on the wing. Mankeys, nice move to move it ahead. Rupert flips, trying to go to Aaron Ramo. Ramo gets tied up right in front of the Potsdam bench, following up his Mankeys, and he'll dump it in behind the net. After it there, Potsdam defense, that's Charlebois, flips it around the boards to the Potsdam wing, kept in the zone by Massena momentarily. Now Matt Nichols with it, to the Massena line, picked up there, moved ahead, back across it goes to lay off sides. Raiders wait and then clear it to the Potsdam line. Into the zone it goes. Whitcup trying to step across to pick it up. Whitcup has it passed away by hand. The puck squirts free to the blue line. At the point, here's a shot, knocked down, bounces out to center ice. Back after it is Nick Toth, circles back in his own blue line. Here's Toth, flipping it ahead, Catanzarite to Michaud. He'll backhand it in the zone. And he had Whitcup breaking, didn't see him. Had he been able to give and go, we might have had a chance. Here's Whitcup stealing in front. Backhand, McGuire makes the save. The puck goes in the net. Raiders score! Raiders score the first goal of the game, and I think Michaud will get it on the backhand, and it's 1-0 Massena.
I agree with you. I think Aaron Michaud's going to get the goal as Robbie Whitcup stole it from the Potsdam defender in the corner to the left of the Potsdam goaltender James Nichols. Walked right out in front. McGuire, I should say, did a nice job. He came out, cut the angle off. Whitcup gets a shot off, but Michaud picking up the rebound, slid it into the empty net. We'll wait and see for the official announcement, but I think it is going to be...
Nope, it's Catanzarite.
Catanzarite. Whoa, I thought it was Aaron Michaud. Whoa, Adam Catanzarite.
Off the face-off, Potsdam right back the other way. Into the Massena zone it goes. Hatch after it, moves it ahead to Michaud. Michaud turns it around. Michaud, Whitcup down the left side. He'll dump it on the backhand in the zone. In behind the net, it's Dan Cook for Potsdam. He's ridden out of the play. Comes to Catanzarite. Poked away from him. Adam after it. Trying to center. Whitcup shot over the net. Nice feed in front by Adam Catanzarite. Now the puck clear to the blue line. Kept in by the Raiders momentarily. Now Potsdam moves it out to center ice. Here's Brian Hatch with it, circling back in his own end. Flips it on the backhand, Catanzarite. He just tries a backhand as Massena makes a line change. The puck bouncing around in front of the penalty box. Now Ramo throws a check. It squirts back to the Potsdam defenseman Mason, who has it knocked away. Here's Levine busting in. 1-on-3, gets a shot off. It's blocked. Puck in the corner. Mason fans on it. Here's Levine again, right in front of the net. Tries to get the short side shot. Save made by McGuire. Puck clear to the blue line. Kept in at the point. Here's a shot deflected in behind the net. Levine takes it off the goalie stick. Goes in front. Tubolino's shot. Scores a goal! Nick Tubolino, and it's 2-0 Massena.
I'll tell you, all kinds of pressure, and that time the Potsdam goaltender James McGuire got caught out of position. The puck came from the left side, bounce that took a weird hop off the dasher behind him. He was caught on the left side as he slid across. He slid too far, and the Massena player banked it off the Potsdam defender.
Tubolino gets the goal.
Nick Tubolino picking up the goal, and the Raiders in the first 4 minutes and 28 seconds have gotten 2 goals.
Raiders couldn't buy a goal against Norwood Norfolk, and here they've got 2 in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Well, they're actually shooting the puck, Jerry, that's why. In the Norwood Norfolk game, they didn't shoot the puck.
Off the faceoff, puck back to the point. Here's Leduc's shot, goes in behind the net. Comes into the corner, Ryan Ramo after it. He'll go to the point, but it's intercepted. Here comes Potsdam, it's Murphy. Murphy busting in the Massena zone, has it knocked away. Following up, who's got it? It slides into the corner. Potsdam controls, trying to move it back behind the net. It comes bouncing free to Matt Webster in front, the shot, Dusty save, and he holds on for a face-off.
Oh, a big save by Dusty DeLille as the Raiders turned it over right out in front of Richard Murphy, that super sniper parked right off the crease. He tried to go short side, but Dusty didn't give him anything on the post, and a big save. Those 2 goals, the Massena, the first one coming at the 3:03 mark. Adam Katanzarek, his 10th of the year. Captain Robbie Whitcup on the assist, and then Nick Tabellino, his 2nd of the year, with Chris Levine and Aaron Leduc picking up the assist.
Smalling out there to take the face-off against Foster. Back to the blue line. Potsdam keeping it in. They'll dump it in the corner. Goes in behind the net. Troy Smuts looks to center, goes off a leg. Puck around the boards. To the blue line. Raiders try to clear. It's stolen away in front. Puck sits in the circle. Here's Smuts, gets a shot off, fired it wide. Excuse me, that's Smalling. Puck along the boards to the blue line. Spanky Foster takes a whack at it, loses it side of the net. It's cleared into the corner. Devin Paquin after it. He'll dump it in behind the net. Picked up by Lazaire. He overskates, and coming up with it is Foster. Foster on the wing. Paquin. Paquin turns it around. Had a problem. Throws it away in front. Here's a shot. Save made. Rebound. Another save by DeLille on a shot taken by Bobby Ellis. And the Raiders throwing that puck around in their own end right to Potsdam players.
Highway robbery. The first save was great, but then the second rebound on Bobby Ellis was highway robbery as Ellis had the goaltender down and out of position, and somehow Dusty DeLille, sliding across on his belly, reached across and made the great save, something like the Richard Baddour or Martin Baddour save the other night in that Canada-Czech game as he dove across and speared it with a glove.
All right, we've got face-off. Potsdam wins it, but it's off a leg to the blue line. Kept in the zone. Comes to Brandon Hall. Bangs it off the boards. Katanzarek to Whitcup. Here's Whitcup. He's got Michaud. Long headman pass. Takes it off the boards. Drives it right on. And the save made by McGuire. Puck in behind the net. There's a battle for it. Whitcup in front. The shot. Save made again. It goes to the side of the net. And the whistle will blow as it's tied up in the mesh. This line of Massena, Whitcup, and Katanzarek and Michaud on fire.
We talked about senior leadership, and those Robbie Whitcup, Aaron Michaud have come out smoking, and Adam Katanzarek right on fire. And when they're out there, they get the puck into the Potsdam zone, and they're just a force.
Face off right side off the draw. Michaud shot. He fired it wide. They won the draw. Katanzarek in the corner to Michaud to Whitcup. Whitcup can't come up with it. Cleared around the boards. Potsdam looks to move it out to center ice. Headman pass. Here comes Torrey Russell. Makes a shift into the Massena zone. Gets by the defenseman. It trickles in front, and he lost it off the end of his stick. Puck along the boards. Potsdam still controls. Katanzarek throws a check. Whitcup trying to clear the zone. Doesn't. And we have a whistle. That was Brandon Hall, rather. And apparently somebody... Was it offsides? They're going to move it out of the zone anyway. Torrey
Russell coming down that right side just simply turned the Massena defenseman inside and out. And Massena was lucky as he got by the defenseman. The defenseman turned the stick over, put a hook on him, but no call. But nice move by Torrey Russell.
Kelleher out there against Nick Tubolino off the draw dump deep in Massena territory. Hatch after it in behind the net. He and Richard Murphy. Hatch takes him into the boards. The puck's still free. Picked up by Kelleher. Gets by one. Here's Kelleher backhand. Dusty save. Rebound in front. Dusty save. Rebound. Score! No, they wave it off. Whistle blew. They lost sight of the puck. That was Murphy who put it in the net as Dusty was down and out. But the whistle had already blown for what I don't know, but it blew.
Lost sight of it, and it blew. Big break for Massena right there. I tell you, that Potsdam line, Murphy line, when they're out there, they just hem Massena right in and buzzing around. But the official lost sight of it, thought it was under DeLille, but it wasn't. Stoners are a little upset. I don't blame them.
Okay, we've got Tubolino wins the draw to Toth this time. Toth behind his own net. He'll rip it around. And Levine does a good job, just lets it go by out to center ice. Tubolino racing in after. Cook gets there first. Circles toward the blue line, out to center ice, dumped right back in the zone. Raiders have to get on sides. They do, but Potsdam clears. Here's Marcus Kelleher. Dumps it deep in the Massena zone. Puck in behind the net. Comes to Hatch, around to Levine. Levine lost it in his skates. Hatch comes back, picks it up, trying to slide it around, gets by a check. Headman pass on the stick of Tubolino to Levine. Raiders break. Here's the headman. They got a man breaking. Almost had Ramo. Jumped over his stick. He'll have to chase in. Flip it in behind the net. Cook. He'll sweep it around the other way to his partner, Mason. Levine takes it away from him, flips it in behind the net. Mason will have to go back after it again. He'll rip it around the boards to the blue line, and Potsdam clears. Down the ice, it's going to trickle right in on goal, so no icing. And Dusty leaves it for Brandon Hall. He's got Murphy steals it. Murphy's centering pass goes weird off a leg, and back down the ice it goes. Ramo racing for it. Ramo tries to get by the defenseman. He does. Here's a sharp angle shot right on. The save made by McGuire as Ramo was too deep to really do much with it, as the Potsdam defenseman he was sparring with, Trevor Mason, managed to hold him off just enough.
Ryan Ramo, a couple of good shifts down that right side, but as you said, he ran out of room, didn't have any place to go. Prior to that, he busted without the puck down that right side. Chris Levine hit him with a great cross-eyed pass right on the tape.
Rupert's line out for Massena. Off the face-off, puck in the circle. It's kicked free. Comes back toward the blue line. Leduc, can he keep it in? He does. Flips it into the corner. Goes in behind the net. Picked up by Joey Charlebois. Charlebois off the boards to the blue line down the ice. Massena defenseman kicked at it, Brandon Hall, but he missed it, and it goes all the way down. After it, Leduc. Leduc in behind the net. He flips it by the glove, but you can do that in your own defensive zone, to the blue line and out to center ice. Ramo overskated. Following up is Mankey's knocked away from him. Intercepted, dumped in the zone by Bobby Ellis. In beside the Massena net, around the boards, it's off a body, picked up by Ramo. He'll rip it around from right to left, comes to Mankey's. Mankey's trying to stop it, can't come up with it. They move it right across the goal mouth, but nobody there for Potsdam. Ramo takes a whack at it, doesn't clear. Here's a shot from the point, goes bouncing into the other corner. After it, there's Matt Nichols. Nichols gets tied up by by Levine, I guess that is. Levine, or who is that? That's Brandon Hall, excuse me. And Hall moves it out to center ice off a body. Potsdam trying to get it back in the zone. Picked up and dumped in the zone by Corey Healy. Puck in behind the net. Whitcup line back out for the Raiders. Puck comes around the boards to Aaron Leduc. Leduc looking. Catanzari. He'll flip it out of center ice. Intercepted there. Potsdam right back to the Massena line and dumped deep inside Massena territory. Puck whistles around the boards. Bernie Adams after it in the corner. Adams gets tied up by Toth. Toth shovels it ahead nicely. And here comes Michaud busting down the left wing side. Has it stolen away by Casey Garish. Potsdam controlling in their own zone. The shot, headman, goes just across the Massena line, and it's picked up by Leduc. Raiders got a piece of that and knocked it down, so actually it turned it into a better pass. Here comes Whitcup back the other way. Knocked away. Catanzari tries to follow, can't get it. Back to Toth at center ice. He'll dump it deep in Potsdam territory. Puck in behind the net. Picked up there by the Stoners as they look to move it out of the zone. Headman pass just crawls across the blue line. They move it ahead. Torrey Russell crosses the line. His shot, save made from long range by Dusty DeLille. Puck right across the blue line, back to the point. Here's a shot blocked as Michaud gives up the body, and the puck trickles back in the Potsdam line as Massena makes changes. Here comes Potsdam moving it out, intercepted by Toth. He'll fire one right on. McGuire makes the stop and leaves it for Dan Cook. Cook trying to clear the zone. Massena controlled it with a high stick. And the face-off will move all the way down the ice, I believe.
The Stoners taking a page out of Massena's book, getting the puck deep in below that goal line and working over the Raider defense. And when they've done that, they've been successful. Dusty DeLille has kept them off the fort. It's 2-0 Massena, but the Stoners, there's no quit in those legs. They're taking it right to Massena.
Well, you might be right. Remember the game here, and it was 3-0 Massena before Potsdam came back. So.
You mentioned before about what a good job the strong side wing, Chris Levine, and on that left side, tipping that puck by the pinching defenseman, doing a great job.
Off the face-off, puck in the corner, Massena zone, Tubolino trying to move it ahead. Now Toth flips it on the other side. In there is Matt Webster, centering pass. Murphy has it knocked off his stick. Puck cleared around the boards by Lazor. Now Tubolino tries to move it ahead. Murphy takes it away. It slides next to the net. Picked up by Toth. He'll flip it around. Comes to Levine, and Levine will move it out. Headman pass, Tubolino knocked away. Back to Murphy. Here's Murphy, takes it across into the Massena zone, trying to get by. Here's Kelleher's shot. Dusty makes the save. Puck goes in the corner. There's a battle for it in the corner there. And it comes free in front. Murphy goes in behind the net. Has it taken away by Toth. Here's Nick Toth. Starts out left wing side. Headman pass a little bit too far. Knocked back to the Massena line. And into the zone it goes. Here comes Kelleher. He's got room in front. Shot, save. DeLille covers up and holds on for the face-off.
Raiders turning the puck over in the neutral zone, Jerry, with a 3-on-2 one-way. They turn it over, and the Stoners come right back in transition. Before you can blink your eyes, they're going the other way with the odd man rush. And I tell you, with that line of Kelleher, Webster, and Murphy, that scares me when those two guys come down on a 3-0-2, because all three of them can dangle, and two of them are excellent putting the puck in the net.
Stephen Smalling will face off against Spanky Foster. Face off Massena zone right side. One by the Raiders comes to Hatch. He rips it around the boards. Here's Zach Dupree. Headman pass Foster. Foster gets it back again. Loses it across the blue line. Tries to stay with it. It's back out to the neutral zone. Potsdam turns it. No, nobody wants it that time. Now finally Potsdam picks it up and dumps it in the Massena zone. Into the corner it goes. After it there, Zach Dupree has it knocked away. Puck bounces side of the net. DeLille leaves it in behind for Foster. Rips it around. Paquin. Paquin looks up ice, looking for Dupree. Hits him, but he can't control the puck. Dumped right back in the Massena zone by Potsdam. Stop behind the net. Here comes Hatch around the boards. Goes to Paquin. Flips to the blue line, not out of the zone. Dumped in behind the net by the Stoners. Picked up there as they want to make a line change here. Raiders look to move it, and they just clear it out to center ice. Here comes Potsdam trying to come back the other way to the Massena line. Brandon Hall flips it ahead. There's a battle right by the Potsdam bench. Zach Dupree takes a whack at it. He gets checked. The whistle blows as it's underneath Andrew Foster. And we'll have a face-off as both teams will make changes. 2:41 left in the first period. Snyder and Snyder, attorneys at law scoreboard, says 2-0 for Massena.
Joe Charleboy had Zach Dupree lined up right in front of the Potsdam bench, and fortunately for Zach, he ducked at the right time. He got down low, and Charleboy got nothing but the dasher. But if he would have connected, woo.
Michaud will face off against Garish. Off the draw, Robbie Whitcup knocks it down, or Nick Toth rather, as he's going to be called for gloving the puck.
Hand pass, actually. He knocked it down, was okay, but when he knocked it down, he hand passed right to Nick Tobolino.
Can't do that, huh?
Yeah, not in that zone.
Robbie Whitcup will take the face-off. Off the draw, Toth. Toth will flip it to Aaron Leduc. Leduc picks it up, just moves it ahead for Whitcup, a little bit too far. But Whitcup follows it in the zone, has it knocked away. Bouncing puck, still in the zone. Whitcup knocks it down, back to the point. Michaud's there, he shoots it right on. Rebound, bounces clear to the blue line and out to center ice by the Stoners, where Toth picks it up. He'll backhand it right back inside Potsdam territory, off the glass, center ice. Whitcup picks it up, waits, has to wait. Katanzarite, and he went across the blue line. I think he lost sight of the puck and went in too soon.
Down to 2:09 left in the period. Raiders up 2-0. 2 goals coming within the first 5 minutes. Nick Tobolino got that second one, and the first one going to Adam Katanzarite.
A little more intensity tonight than we saw the other night.
Yes, it is. A lot more intensity.
Face-off will come out just outside the Potsdam zone. Kelleher will take the draw against Chris Levine. Off the face. Levine trying to win it into the zone. Kelleher comes up with it, drops to Charlebois. His headman pass goes to Matt Nichols, and he'll dump it inside Massena territory. Puck around the boards. Brandon Hall, he and Murphy battle. Hall wins the battle, clears it, but not out. Here's the shot, deflected in the net. Potsdam scores. Joey Charlebois from the point. And that just deflected and kissed the post and went in.
But the key was a nice low shot, probably about an inch off the ground. Massena tried to run it out of the zone, and the strong side wing didn't get it. It came right back to Charlebois at the point, and he took that low shot, and to aid to the screen, the Massena forward came out to try to block it with his body, and it went right under him. So the Stoners, and you can almost see it coming, they've been, since they're down 2-0, they've been pressing Massena, and it was just almost a matter of time. I'm not sure if that hit anything or not. We'll see who gets the goal.
2-1 the score, favor Massena on the Snyder and Snyder attorneys at law scoreboard. Here comes Murphy again. Nick Toth takes him out of the play. The puck in the corner. They battle for it, Kelleher. Now Toth takes him out of the play into the boards. Kelleher skates away with it. Back to the point. Here's a shot knocked down into the corner. After it, Brandon Hall. He'll pick it up, but he doesn't clear the zone. It's dumped right back in behind the net. Kelleher and Toth go after it. They both go down, and Robbie Whitcup picks up the puck. Circles back as he picked up a forechecker. He'll rip it around. And Michaud clears, not out of the zone. Kept in there, but it's going to come to Katanzarite. He knocks it ahead, and it comes to Michaud. He's got a partial break down the left wing side. Michaud winds up the drive. The rebound, clear to the blue line. Murphy back the other way. Here comes Murphy. Katanzarite, nice job, back checking. and the Raiders pick up the puck, and there's going to be a whistle as the offside was called anyway. Great job by Adam Catanzari back checking.
He's been skating both ways, Jerry. I had in my notes mentioned him before. What a great job his last shift he did out there, coming back and breaking up a potential Potsdam threat. That Potsdam goal at the 13:02 mark, it was deflected. Matt Nichols deflected it. Charlebois gets the assist. Nichols had the hat trick, Jerry, in the first game down here against Massena.
And they moved up. Nichols was on the third line, but they moved him up to the second line that shift. It paid dividends. Here comes Potsdam back the other way. Danny Cook, head man pass to Torrey Russell. Russell busts in, and into the corner it goes. He's knocked down. The puck bounces free to Cook, and now we're going to have a penalty on Massena, I believe.
It's going to be Ryan Ramo, I think, is going to get the gate. It's cross-checking.
Yep. So Potsdam will go on the power play with 35 seconds left in the period. Massena leads 2-1 on the Snyder and Snyder attorneys at law scoreboard.
Torrey Russell took that pass down the left side. If he would have continued to the outside, he had the Raider defenseman beat, Jerry. He had him beat just inside the blue line. He did him a favor. He cut into the middle, right into the Massena defenseman, because our defenseman was flat-footed and he was on the fly. But the Stoners going on the power play. They're 0 for 6 in the first two games. I hope that doesn't turn around here.
Off the face-off, puck goes in the corner. In behind the net. Toth trying to come up with it. Potsdam has it in behind. They control it. Around the boards it goes. Stephen Smalling. He circles. He's taken into the boards by Toth. Toth just trying to tie up the puck, but it's squirted free. Controlled by Torrey Russell. Russell, he'll go on the other side. Moving it back to the point. Charlebois in front. Here's the shot through traffic is wide. That taken by Casey Garish. Now Dan Cook has got the puck along the puck boards. He squirts it in behind. Picked up by Lazaire. Moves it to the blue line as the buzzer sounds. And the period ends. Potsdam will still have 55 seconds of power play when we start the second period. Massena with a 2-1.
First period, Potsdam was really gliding.
Off the faceoff, puck goes all the way back in the Potsdam zone as Whitcup fires it down the ice on the faceoff. Picked up by Joe Charlebois. He flips it ahead, off the boards to center ice, picking it up there for the Stoners. Into the zone it goes. Here's the drive. It's deflected by Hatch. Goes into the corner. Torrey Russell back to the point. Charlebois, quick snapshot, deflected, hit the side of the net. That was actually deflected by a Massena defenseman. Puck around the boards, goes back to Charlebois. He'll dump it right back in the corner. In behind the net, Casey Garish. Garish will flip it around on the other side. All the way around the boards it goes to Stephen Smalling. He loses it. Whitcup finds the hole, dumps it down the ice with 17 seconds left in the man advantage.
Raiders caught a break. Nick Toth unhooked Stephen Smalling.
Now the puck knocked away back into the Potsdam zone with 7 seconds left in the man advantage. Comes to Corey Healy. Healy goes to Charlebois, moves it up on the wing. Potsdam breaks it out of there. Here comes Torrey Russell. Across the blue line. He's knocked off the puck. It comes in on DeLille. He'll play it over to Whitcup, and Whitcup starts back out with a penalty elapsed. Here comes Ramo, who's out on the ice. Knocked away from him. Michaud gets by the defenseman. Here's Michaud centering it in front. Whitcup, and he deflects it just wide. Here's the puck back in front to Whitcup again. He turns it around, fired it. It goes off a defenseman and picked up by Potsdam in the corner. They move it out. Matt Webster knocked away from him, dumped right back in the zone, and Whitcup got leveled right after he threw it in the zone. Now Ramo throws a check in behind the net. Potsdam, though, comes up with a puck, bounces free, back behind. They'll start to move it ahead. Casey Garish out to center ice, knocked away. Tubolino loses it off the side of his skate, gets knocked down. Puck dumped to an open wing. Leduc. Here's Aaron Leduc dumping it to the Potsdam zone. Charlebois flipping it ahead out to center ice. Murphy. Here comes Murphy into the Massena zone. Murphy goes wide to the left, trying to get by Brandon Hall. He does, slides it right in front. They score a goal. And getting the goal will be Matt Webster as Murphy beat the Massena defenseman wide and threw the puck in front of the net. And DeLille went with Murphy, left the net open, and Webster was there to poke it in, and it's 2-2.
Webster will get the goal, but Murphy did all the work. And I'll tell you, when he comes through that neutral zone, the Raider defense, they back off 15 feet to give him all kinds of room. They respect him that much, maybe sometimes too much. And he had easy access to the offense, came in on that left side, got in too far. He couldn't make a play, but as you said, goaltender Dusty DeLille slid across too far, and Murphy just slid it out in front. And number 5, Matt Webster, who was trying to be checked by a Raider forward, just got a stick on it and just got over the line. But we have a tie hockey game.
That coming just after the 1 minute mark of the period. So the Raiders kill the penalty off, but then give up a goal right after the end of the penalty. And now the puck at center ice. So we're right back where we started. 2-2 tie hockey game. DeLille in the corner. He flips it around the boards. Mankey's trying to come up with it. He can. It bounces in behind again for Stephen Smalling. Smalling has it knocked away. Comes to Lazaire. Lazaire flipping it on the wing. It's intercepted. Smalling taken away by Rupert. Rupert, he'll rip it around the other way for Ramo. Ramo comes out to center ice. Slides it ahead. There's going to be a penalty on Potsdam as Ramo got tripped up as he was going by the Potsdam defenseman. And the Raiders will go on the power play as Danny Cook will get the gate for hooking, I think.
Yes, it will be hooking. A nice little innocent hook by Danny Cook. He didn't seem to put much into it, but the Raider forward kind of embellished it, and the official making the call. But that tying goal, the 1:55 mark, Matt Webster getting the goal. Richard Murphy doing yeoman's work and picking up the only assist.
Robbie Whitcup coming out with Aaron Michaud and Foster. We've got Toth and Ramo at the points. Off the face-off comes to Ramo by way of Toth, and he'll dump it in the zone. Puck stopped by McGuire, but he let it go away, and the puck goes into the corner. There's a battle for it there. Whitcup comes away with it. Whitcup at the 45, back to the point. Michaud to Toth. He winds on the fly, deflected right on. Save made. Good shot. Back to Toth again at the point. Winds up again, his shot right on. Deflected right back to Toth. Comes on the other side, Ramo. Steps in front, his shot, scores a goal! Ryan Ramo, and the Raiders take the lead again.
Ryan Ramo from that left side. That's a big goal, and James McGuire got caught out of position. He gave up that short side. No way that should go in there. Even if he doesn't see it, he's in right position. It's going to hit him, but he gave Ryan Ramo a lot of room on that short side, and Ryan put it up right up over the right shoulder, and the Raiders on a power play goal have regained the lead 3-2. Ryan Ramo, that's a big one.
Ryan Ramo gets the goal. Nick Tubolino's line coming out there. Ramo stays out with Levine.
Toth will get one assist.
Off the faceoff, puck deep in Massena territory. DeLille clears it along the boards for Levine. Levine picks it up, carries it back, lost it. Here's Levine's side, and that short side shot blocked by the Massena D. That was Nick Toth. Puck in the corner, comes in behind the net. Tubolino throws a check, comes to Brandon Hall. He'll flip it to Ramo. Ramo at the wing, looks, headman, doesn't get it out of the zone. Now the puck in the corner, there's a battle there. And the puck cleared to the blue line out to center ice. And what do we got? We got a penalty behind the play. And that's going to be Nick Tubolino. And that was, they both went down. I don't know, but it's going to be a penalty, and Potsdam will go on the power play.
That go-ahead goal, Ryan Ramo from Nick Toth, after Toth had taken a couple of shots that McGuire had stopped and deflected. It came back to Toth, and he was being pressured, and he slid it over to Ramo on that left side, just about at the top of the dot, and Ramo fired a shot, and James McGuire got beaten on that short side.
You're going to give Tubi a slashing call. So Potsdam right back on the power play here as the puck goes free. Lazaire after, takes a whack at it, doesn't clear the zone, follows up, gets it out to center ice. Here comes Colin Lazaire leading the attack. He's got Michaud with him. Here's Lazaire, centering, Michaud shot, scores a goal! And the Raiders score a shorty, their first of the year, and the Raiders take a 4-2 lead.
Oh, Colin Lazaire, a great setup, and Aaron Michaud, what a finish as he just one-timed that pass, again high to the stick side of McGuire, and the first shorthanded goal that the Raiders have scored this year. Aaron Michaud, a beauty. You mentioned Colin Lazaire just trying to clear the zone. He got it by the Potsdam defender at that defense at the Potsdam blue line, the Massena blue line, stepped around him, and it was a 2-on-1 rush. He went down that right side, great move, pulled the defender, threw the pass out in front, and Michaud coming late, one-timed it. What a shot.
Michaud poke checking the puck away, but Cook follows up. He'll go to Charlebois. Here's Charlebois down the left wing side. Potsdam still on the power play. Charlebois out by the blue line. He'll dump it in the corner, goes in behind the net. Lazaire racks it around the boards, rides the puck boards back to Charlebois. He'll flip it to the 45, intercepted by Michaud, and down the ice it goes. Raiders will make a penalty killing change here as the Ramo brothers come out. Here comes Potsdam. Charlebois, he can skate, he can fire it. His shot is blocked. Ramo picks up the loose puck, flips it ahead to Hatch, who dumps it down the ice. Here's a foot race for it. Cook and Ryan Ramo. Ramo after it to Aaron Ramo. He'll flip it in behind the net. 30 seconds left in the man advantage. Potsdam right back the other way. Here's Garish on the off wing. He'll stop out by the blue line. Goes back to Charlebois, gets it back at the 45. Garish with it. Garish, top of the circle now, skates it. Trying to go back to the point. He lost it off the end of his stick, and the Raiders clear it out to center ice. Aaron Ramo. Charlebois right back across. He'll flip it in the corner. Ryan Ramo trying to move it ahead. Comes to Toth. He can't clear it. Aaron Ramo takes a whack at it and clears it down the ice. Down to 3 seconds left. The Raiders kill the penalty the best way that you can by scoring a shorthanded goal. Here comes the puck. Danny Cook into the Massena zone. And it goes in behind the net. Massena territory. Garris centers it, but it's cleared by DeLille. Puck cleared around by the Massena defenseman at Paquin. Paquin has it knocked away. Raiders lead at 4-2 on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. A power play goal and a shorthanded goal. Massena special teams continuing to be tough this year. Puck at the red line, dumped into the Massena zone. Bounces in the corner. After it, Leduc. Flips it along the boards, goes in behind the net to Nick Toth. Toth will back it the other way. Leduc dumping to an open wing. Foster looks to move it ahead, doesn't get it out of the zone. Cook keeps it in. Cook steps by the check, gets by Leduc. Cook short side shot, save, rebound, scores a goal. Potsdam gets one back, and I think that's going to be Murphy in front.
That line just could not get the Potsdam was pressing. That unit out there could not. They wanted to change. They wanted to clear the zone. They couldn't. I'll tell you, this is a game of you hold the momentum for about 5 seconds and it swings to the other team. It will be. I'm not sure who got the number. You think it's Danny Cook that got the goal?
No, I think it was Murphy.
Murphy?
Yeah, Cook came down the right side. Massena had a chance to clear the zone and didn't. Cook kept it in. He came down the right side, cut toward the net, and again, Dusty came toward him. He centered it across the goal crease to Murphy, who was pretty well tied up, but he still got a backhand on.
That was almost a replica of the third Potsdam goal.
Absolutely.
Where the forward just got a stick on it to knock it over the line.
Almost exactly. Here comes Catanzarite. He'll dump it into the Potsdam zone. Stoners control it out to center ice. Goes by Hall all the way back in Massena territory. Picked up by Lazaire. He'll flip it around the boards for Michaud. Lost it. Comes to Whitcup. Lost it. Goes in the corner. Picked up by the Stoners. Puck comes back to the point. Here's a drive knocked down by Whitcup out to center ice. Raiders leading by 1. Puck dump right back in Massena territory. Comes to Colin Lazaire. Takes it. Gets by the check. Skates it ahead. Goes to Whitcup. Whitcup starts out. Long head man pass. Catanzarite. He gets tied up but stays with it. Flips it in the corner. Aaron Michaud after it. He throws the check in the corner. The puck squirts free. Catanzarite going back to Michaud. Trying to center it, but it's knocked away from him by Joe Charlebois. Charlebois and Whitcup spar. The puck squirts free to the blue line. Shot by Hatch is blocked. Back comes Potsdam the other way. Matt Nichols. He'll dump it deep in Massena territory. DeLille will clear it ahead. Michaud bounces it to Whitcup too far. It's picked up there by Potsdam. They'll move it back the other way. Torrey Russell to the Massena line. Into the zone it goes. Off a stick. Racing in after it is Casey Garish. In behind the net. Hatch takes it away. Brian Hatch and Garish spar. In the corner. Squirts free. Catanzarite throws a check. Comes back to the blue line. The puck dumped in behind the net. Will come to Michaud. Looks up ice. He's got nobody breaking. And down the ice it goes for icing. With 7:49 remaining in the second period. Corky's Collision scoreboard reads Massena 4, Potsdam 3.
We've had 3 goals here in less than 3 minutes. The Raiders getting 2 within 40 seconds. Ryan Ramo, a power play goal, and Aaron Michaud, a shorthanded goal to go up 4-2 when the Stoners had all kinds of momentum. And then it swung back to Massena, and then at 5:38, Richard Murphy is second of the game from Danny Cook picking up the assist.
Face off left side. Inside Massena territory. Potsdam wins the draw. Here's a shot. It's blocked. Out to center ice. Levine. Bust down the left wing side with Ramo. Levine shot. Save made McGuire. Puck in the corner. Ramo in behind the net. Can't come up with it. Comes bouncing free to Bernie Adams. Does not clear the zone. Kept in there to Levine. Levine to Ramo. Ramo has it lost off the end of his stick. Casey Garish back the other way. Here's Garish. Into the Massena zone. Knocked away from him. Picking it up. Here's a chance, but it comes to Levine. Potsdam looking for that third guy who wasn't there, and Levine made the intercept. Back in the Massena zone, comes to Lazaire, looks up ice, flips it ahead for Levine. Levine turns it out to center ice, almost threw it away. Ramo trying to go back to Tubolino. Levine follows, intercepted. Murphy, now it's knocked away by Ramo to Tubolino. He just lifts it high in the air, back inside the zone. Here comes the puck to Cook. He's going to bust down the left wing side, gets by the Massena defenseman, slides it right on. We have a whistle. No, we don't. The puck comes back to the blue line. Thought they're going to call something. The shot is blocked. Nice job by Hall. He'll flip it out to center ice. dumped right back in the zone. Potsdam delay offside. Danny Cook with a nice rush down that right side. And he again beat the Massena defenseman and almost got a chance. Raiders look to clear, don't. Back in the corner it goes, behind the net. Potsdam controls. Matt Webster flips it around on the other side to Marcus Kelleher. Kelleher looks up. He's got time. Back to the point. Shot right on. Save made. Rebound in front. Kelleher. Shot right on. Save made. DeLille. And we'll have a face-off inside Massena territory as Matt Webster a little bit upset there with the Massena player. That's who? I think they're going to call them both. That's Colin Lazare.
Colin Lazare, yes. I think Colin was just reacting to what Webster got the initial shove in and retaliated and got them both. I'll tell you, Danny Cook is playing back on defense the way he's undressing and beating these Raider forwards to the outside. Maybe Coach Joe Stark will think of putting him up front. Wow.
4-3, Massena leading. And I'm not sure I expected quite this kind of a game, Coach.
It's wild and woolly here in this second period. Defense, certainly neither club playing strong defense, but creating a lot of scoring opportunities.
Kelleher will face it off against Michaud in the Massena zone. Off the draw. Puck sits in the circle. Side of the net. Whitcup picks it up. Whitcup gets tripped up, gets up, flips it ahead for Nick Toth. Toth from the blue line, his shot right on, his glove by McGuire. He'll leave it in behind the net for Joey Charlebois. Charlebois has it knocked away, Whitcup after it. He can't control, it comes to Corey Healy. Healy starts out for Potsdam. Headman pass, here's Murphy again. Murphy goes by Toth, but Toth keeps him wide that time. Now the puck back to Charlebois. He tries to deflect it in the corner, intercepted. Michaud. Michaud looking for Whitcup breaking. Does he have him? Whitcup, can he catch it? No, he can't. And the whistle will blow for icing. Good opportunity. They didn't quite connect, though.
But you don't mind that. Again, Robbie Whitcup breaking without the puck at the red line, and Aaron Michaud reading that nice bank pass off the boards where he froze the Potsdam defenseman on the blue line, banked it by him, and if Whitcup catches up with that, it could be a breakaway.
Face-off inside Massena territory. Garish now to take the draw against Ramo off the face-off. Catanzari to the blue line. He just pokes it down the ice. And will it go far enough for icing? I believe it will. Yep. And I'll tell you what, Catanzari almost caught up with it.
Adams had a goal here, and he's had some great defensive work, as you called, and he's playing a strong game, and he broke on that draw just like he should, coming through that slot area, hoping to get out to the point if they lose the draw to cover that defenseman. That time the puck was slow clearing, and he picked it up and just tipped it by the Potsdam defender, almost a breakaway.
Ramo again will take the face-off against Garish off the draw. Garish has it. He gets tripped up. There's going to be a penalty on Massena and a hand pass called on Potsdam. And that was just a tough luck break for, I think it was Brian Hatch, as Garish stepped on his stick and went down. And that'll be a tripping call.
Yeah, it doesn't say whether there's intent or not in the book. Trip is a trip, and as the Potsdam defender going towards the net would have had the advantage if he hadn't been upended. As you said, it wasn't intentional, but Stoners will have the power play with 5:34 left in this second period. Raiders up 4-3.
And this is a 4-on-3 power play for 41 seconds. We've got Whitcup, Michaud, and Toth out there.
I tell you, it's hard when you've only got a three-man triangle out there trying to cover the points. This will leave much more room for big number 12 out there, and if I were Potsdam, I'd be feeding him.
Off the face-off, puck comes to Cook, and that's who they go to, Charlebois. Back to Cook. He's got room, slides it in front. Here's a backhand block by Toth, the rebound. And inside behind the net it goes. Picked up there by Russell. Russell out by the blue line. Russell gets it back again. Here's the shot deflected by Toth up into the wall. And interesting, they don't put Murphy out on the power play. Maybe he'll be coming out.
Casey Garish had a great opportunity. He's still shaking his head down there. He had Dusty DeLille down and out of the play, and Garish on that right side just couldn't get it up over DeLille. He had that top half of that net wide open.
Whitcup takes the face-off again. Right side, off the draw, puck in the circle. Potsdam wins it. Garish goes to Cook, goes off his skate. He gathers it in, back in behind the net. Gets it back again at the point. Here's Cook, gets it in front. Here's a shot. DeLille makes a save. A rebound, side of the net, back to the point. Cook. Here's Cook with it. 2 seconds left in the matching. Here's the drive. Charlebois in behind the net. And DeLille looks to tie it up and does behind the net. Wow. Did he bring that one or what?
I tell you, he's been working on his shot since we were up in Potsdam back at the end of January, because if you remember, Jerry, he had a lot of shots, but they were about 6-footers, and everything he shot today has been about an inch or two off the ice. Just a blue darter, and he really puts a lot on it. And again, when it's low like that, that's when you have a chance to deflect it or have it hit somebody.
Raiders lead it 4-3. Potsdam with lots of power play left. Here's a drive the point, and it goes into the corner. Went off a couple of bodies, I think. Here's Murphy. He's out there now. Takes it in behind the net. Richard Murphy. He's a great hockey player, no question about it. Back to Charlebois, to the 45. Here's a drive. That goes wide. Puck goes back around the other way. Potsdam controls Cook with it. In behind, Cook's got it, steps in front, can't get the shot off, gets knocked down. Somehow he got a shot off, or somebody did. Puck goes in the corner. Back to the blue line, Charlebois drives it, deflected, in behind the net. Dusty went down a little early that time. Here comes Potsdam in front. Murphy poke checked away. Poke check free, back to center ice, and out to center ice it goes by Aaron Ramo. 2 seconds left in the man advantage. Raiders get the man back as Hatch steps on the ice. To the Massena line. Hall flips it down the ice. Not going to go far enough for icing as the Raiders kill off a penalty just barely.
Weathered the storm, just barely is right.
Back to center ice it comes. That's Southwick out there for the first time tonight. He just flips it ahead into the Potsdam zone. Marcus Kelleher, and he's right back off again. And back down the ice it goes. Will it go far enough for icing? Nick Topp picks it up on the other side. Colin Lazare, he'll flip ahead to Whitcup. Whitcup can't clear the zone. Lost it off the end of his stick. Kelleher gets it free in front. Here's the shot wide. Around the boards, Michaud. Here comes Michaud. He can dangle. Takes it by one, then lost it. He just passed it a little too far to himself. Now the puck out by the blue line to center ice. Topp flips it high in the air, and McGuire gloves it, and he'll leave it in behind the net for Corey Healy. Healy upended. The puck squirts free in the corner. Stolen away by Michaud. Michaud takes a whack at it. Into the circle. It'll be dumped down the ice. Right on, so no icing. And DeLille looks to clear it ahead. Out to center ice to Michaud. Aaron picks it up. He's got a man breaking. Catanzari, he's knocked off the puck. Michaud follows, over skates. Comes to Kelleher. Kelleher back the other way from center ice. It's gloved by Dusty. He'll play it ahead again to Michaud at the 45. Out to center ice and down the ice. This one's going to go right on, so McGuire stops it, no icing. Raiders lead by 1, 4-3 on the Corky scoreboard. Michaud steals in the zone. Michaud gets by the D. Lost it off the end of his stick behind the net. Can't come up with it. Comes to Hatch at the point. Hatch gets a shot. Sharp angle shot deflected in front by Tubolino. Michaud checks, throws the puck to Rupert. Rupert skates in front, shot. Big save by McGuire as he was down. It comes to Rupert's side of the net. He gets knocked down. Puck cleared around the boards and to the blue line and out to center ice. Wow.
What a save by James McGuire. It's an unbelievable save on Derek Rupert.
Now comes to Mankeys, knocked away from him, dumped down the ice, icing against Potsdam. 2:02 remaining in the period. Corky's collision scoreboard says 4-3 Massena.
James McGuire had to be falling asleep down there because for the last 5 minutes it's been up on the Massena end, but a good flurry. McGuire is down on his back. Rupert has the puck on the left side. He goes upstairs from about 12 feet away. McGuire comes up with the left leg. It's a left leg. I think he came up with a left leg, line on, and knocked that puck, made a save. What an unbelievable save.
Rupert out to take the face-off against Garish. Wins the draw to the point. The shot fired wide by Southwick. Southwick knocks it down, comes out to Hatch. Into the zone it goes. Here comes Bernie Adams in the corner. He and Hatch battle for it. Bounces free to Garish. Out to the high slot, and the puck into the corner. Bounces free. We have a whistle. And a little bit of a mix-up. The two number twos going at it behind the net. Bernie Adams and Hatch, Brian Hatch. I think they're going to get them both.
Well, yes, they are. I thought they were going to initially call Adams for interference, taking out Hatch, but we'll see what the call is. They're both going to go. But just prior to that, coming off the bench, it was Torrey Russell coming right down the slot. Potsdam had the puck in the corner, threw it right to Russell, and I don't know why he didn't shoot the puck. It was on the tape, and he just waited a second too long, and then looked like he passed it. I don't know who he was passing it to, but he was right out in front. But I'm sure if Torrey Russell had to have that one over again, he'd take the shot. 1:44
left in the second period. 4-3. Massena leads Potsdam here in the Section 10 Division I semifinal. And Tubolino out to take the draw. No, it's going to be Ramo. For Massena, that's Ryan Ramo. Off the draw, the puck bounces, top of the circle to the blue line. They move it to Charlebois. He's got room, he's got the shot. He fired it wide, but not by much. Ryan Ramo out to center ice. And the puck comes to Charlebois. He'll flip it ahead. Into the Massena zone it goes. In the corner. Picked up there, in behind the net and around the boards. Cook after it. He's in there like a forward, no doubt about that, Coach. And he gets tied up in the corner. We'll have a face-off.
Joe Charlebois, Potsdam had everything they wanted, won the draw, got it back to the point. The Raiders didn't balance the ice. Potsdam slid it across to Charlebois on the right side. He stepped down. There was one Massena defenseman, one Potsdam blue shirt in front, each tied up. Charlebois stepped down, and Dusty DeLille challenged him, and Charlebois shot it wide.
Just wide, too. Whitcup out to take the draw against Marcus Kelleher now. 4-on-4 plus the goalies. The puck comes to Toth. He gathers it in, goes to the other Massena defenseman, and out to center ice it goes. It was Colin Lazare. Puck dumped down. It's going to go right in on goaltender James McGuire. Potsdam picking the puck off, moving it ahead. Now it goes down into the Massena zone with a minute left in the second period. Colin Lazare flips it around the boards with Murphy coming after. Whitcup picks it up. Goes to Michaud. Michaud doesn't clear the zone, but it's out to center ice anyway as the Potsdam defenseman. Now here comes Kelleher. Cuts right across the middle, then takes it back toward the blue line, turns it around, flips it over on the other side. It bounces out to center ice. Dumped right back in the Massena zone. Picked up by Toth. He takes it behind his own net, looks off the boards. Trying to go to Michaud. Michaud lifts the stick, and it trickles down inside Potsdam territory. Comes to Corey Healy. 24 seconds left in the period. Here's Healy out of his own zone, flipping it ahead, hit the official, goes to Kelleher. Kelleher makes the shift, gets by one Massena defenseman, centers it in front, the shot, the save made, goes wide into the corner, Levine. Levine, headman to Hatch. Hatch, who's out of the penalty box. He can't come up with it. Bounces free with 5 seconds left to the blue line. Potsdam had a 2-on-1 that they just failed to execute, or this game would be tied.
I tell you, Marcus Kelleher beat both Massena defensemen coming.
A lot of similarities between these two clubs. Off the faceoff, puck sits in the circle, dumped into the Massena zone, across the blue line, and it squirts free to Robbie Whitcup behind the net. Whitcup turns, shakes a forechecker, moves it ahead to Catanzarite. His pass goes off the heel of his stick, but he gets it out center ice. Whitcup, headman, intercepted. Back toward the Massena line it goes, and just across the Massena zone. Back out to center ice again. And it bounces deep in Massena territory one more time. Dusty throws it around the net to Michaud, who just tomahawks it down the ice. That'll go for icing, I believe. No, they wave it off, and the puck in behind the net. Controlled by the Stoners. They move it around the boards to the blue line, out to center ice. Nice headman pass to Murphy. He takes it across, trying to go by the Massena defenseman. This time he was double teamed and had nowhere to go. Raiders clear to the blue line. Cook keeps it in and dumps it in behind the net. There's a battle for it behind the net. And Murphy comes up with it, centers it, but it's intercepted. Raiders move it out to center ice. Catanzarite just flips it ahead, gets knocked down by Cook. The puck squirts back in the Potsdam zone. Stoners control, intercepted Levine. Levine goes by and then lost it as the defenseman stayed with him. That was Trevor Mason, who threw it away but then made a good defensive play. Comes to Ramo, centers Levine, knocked off his stick. Here comes Cook again. Danny Cook goes by one Massena defenseman. Hatch knocks it away. He's the second guy. Cook in behind the net. It trickles in on DeLille off the backboard. He'll hold on for the faceoff.
We've mentioned Danny Cook several times. Another big defenseman, 6 foot, 170-pound sophomore, just a sophomore of the Stoners, but he's skating out there like Valerie Burry. He's walking around and blowing by the Raider defensemen like they're anchored in cement.
Face-off in the Massena zone. Nick Tubolino out there to take the draw against Casey Garish. Still 4-3 Massena on the top post. State Farm Insurance scoreboard off the face-off. Puck clear to the blue line, kept in at the point. Shot deflected. Into the corner it goes. Puck comes to Ryan Ramo. His headman to Levine. Chris Levine takes it down the left side. He'll dump it deep in Potsdam territory. Puck goes in behind the net. Joey Charlebois rips it around the boards for Potsdam. To the blue line, Ramo tries to keep it in. He can't. Comes along the boards to the Massena line. Ramo whacks at it. Comes to Charlebois. His headman right on the stick of Torrey Russell. Russell shot, save, may rebound. Cleared in behind the net by the Massena D. Comes to Levine. Levine flips it ahead. Tubolino. Tubolino's got Ramo breaking. Here's Tubolino taking it across off wing. Tries to go to Ramo. It deflects right on. And McGuire makes a save and sticks it into the corner. Right back comes Potsdam to center ice. Got a man breaking. Tubolino back checking. Picks it up. Flips it ahead. Comes to Joe Charlebois. His shot, well, I think it was just a dump in. Goes around the boards to the blue line. He gets it back. This time it's a shot. It goes just wide. Quick wrist shot. Puck along the boards, in the corner. Cook keeps it in. Here's Dan Cook with it. Looks to center, side of the net. Bounces free. Tubolino comes back, knocks it away. Lazaire, he knocked off his stick. Comes to Ryan Ramo. He moves it on the air, down the ice. That'll go for icing against Massena. The whistle will blow. 12:16 remaining in period number 3. Raiders clinging to a 4-3 lead on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard.
You talk about going to the net without the puck. The Raiders had a 2-on-2 situation, and the forward with the puck delayed a little bit. The other forward started to go to the net, but then stayed. He stayed in traffic. You've got to find that open spot. If you go to a spot, there's a defender there. You've got to move. Keep those legs moving. Find an open spot.
Rupert against Kelleher off the draw. Puck comes back to Cook at the point. His shot doesn't get through. Bounces off a leg in the corner. Kelleher and Rupert go together. Lazaire comes in to throw a check. Where's the puck? Rupert and Kelleher still banging for it. Comes back to Cook at the point. Centering pass goes right on the rebound. Bounces free. And DeLille made the save, but then gave up a big rebound. But here comes Massena. Here's a big drive, and the save made by McGuire. Puck goes in behind the net, and he'll cover it up as it bounces off the side of the net. James McGuire holds on as Aaron Ramo came in and blasted one from the left side.
And just prior to that, Richard Murphy is still shaking his head. He's the guy that had the puck all alone in front, had Dusty DeLille down. Murphy had the puck. DeLille gave up the rebound and couldn't put it in the short side. He's still shaking his head. He swung across the crease, had the puck, and I still don't know how he didn't put it in, but he didn't. He's going to the bench, and he can't believe that he didn't tie up this hockey game.
Whitcup out there now to take the face-off. Whitcup out with Catanzarite and Michaud. Off the draw, puck goes into the corner, picked up by Potsdam's Bernie Adams. Flips it to the blue line, not out. Nick Toth keeps it in. He deflects it right across the goal mouth. Michaud had his stick on the ice. It would have been another Massena goal. Puck back out to center ice, back in again, back down the ice. That'll be icing against Potsdam this time and move the face-off back in the zone.
Robbie Whitcup, what a great job on that. Came back to the point. Nick Toth just directed it towards the net. And Robbie Whitcup was to the right of McGuire, and he just put the blade down and redirected it about 50 degrees. And as you mentioned, it went right across the crease. If Michaud has his stick down, it's an empty net goal.
Whitcup taking the face-off again against Garish. Right side, Potsdam zone off the draw. Michaud, his shot is blocked. Bounces, where is it? I don't have a clue where it is, behind the net. They battle for it, it comes bouncing in front. Whitcup, shot, score! Robbie Whitcup, and the Raiders take a 5-3 lead.
Robbie Whitcup walking out from behind the net. Whether a Massena player, Michaud, and number 12, Joe Charlebois, were battling for the puck. Whitcup wins, comes in, sneaks the puck out, walks right out on the right side, and fired a low shot between McGuire and the post. I think he beat him again on that stick side, and the Raiders have restored that 2-goal lead. Captain Robbie Whitcup with his 14th goal of the year.
Out there to take the face-off. Raiders control it. That's Derek Rupert to Hatch. Hatch has it knocked away. Comes back to the Massena line. Ahead to Ramo. He backhands it deep in Potsdam territory. Trevor Mason after it. Flips it in the corner. Hard check thrown there by Ramo. Puck picked up by Rupert to Ramo. Ramo in behind the net for Mankies. Mankies has it poke checked by him. And around the boards it goes. Out to center ice, down the ice. That'll be icing if it doesn't hit the net. And it doesn't, and it is. Does that make sense? Yeah, and the face-off will go back inside Potsdam territory. Raiders with a 5-3 lead here on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. We're in the third period, 10:58 remaining, almost 11 minutes left.
And that fifth goal, the 3:34 mark, is 14th of the year. Captain Robbie Whitcup with Adam Catanzarite picking up the assist. Whitcup walked out from behind the net and stuffed it in the short side.
Face-off inside Potsdam territory. Ryan Ramo will take the draw. Off the face-off, puck in the circle. Goes in the corner. Ramo trying to center, knocked away. Comes all the way back to Hatch at the point. Takes a quick wrister. That goes wide. Nobody saw that one until it was by the net. Fortunately for Potsdam, it was not on. Now the puck bouncing in the corner to the blue line. Hall is there. Finally, it's knocked out to center ice. Ramo, he'll flip it to the open wing. Hall takes a whack at it, trying to move it ahead. He can't. Puck dumped in the Massena zone. Goes in behind the net. DeLille will flip it along the boards to Levine. Levine gets checked. The puck bounces in behind the net. Here comes Potsdam controlling. The wraparound attempt goes short side, and the whistle blows. The puck was still free, but Dusty had it under his glove, and the Potsdam forward whacked at the glove a couple of times and knocked it free, but the whistle had already blown.
And the Potsdam faithful, thinking back to that first period when Massena got a quick whistle and Potsdam put it into the net after the whistle blown, where, again, they didn't have the view you and I had. They're across the way and on the south side, and they're quite upset about that. But anyway, face-off to the right of Dusty DeLille.
Face-off, Kelleher will take it against Tubolino. Off the draw, puck in the circle. Tubolino has it knocked away, and I think Kelleher got a shot, and now there's going to be penalties, I'm sure. After the whistle, the Potsdam forward came and knocked DeLille almost into the net, and then the Potsdam, or I should say the Massena defenseman retaliated. They got to call matching on that, I think.
Well, they better. If not, it's a poor penalty on the Massena. You got to be disciplined. I know.
Or they may not call anything.
Number 5, it was Matt Webster was poking at the puck. The whistle had blown, and Aaron Leduc took exception to it. And I understand where Aaron's coming from. And again, you got to say, I'll get him later in the mid-ice check. You can't put yourself or put the team in danger of taking a penalty right here.
They didn't make the call, though, so no call.
No good, no call then, because if he would have, it should have been one on each.
Yeah. Okay, Kelleher to take the face-off against Tubolino. 10:18 left in the third period. Raiders up 5-3. Off the face-off, puck one, back to the point. Here's a shot, deflected in behind the net. Goes into the corner. Potsdam controlling. Here's Murphy, knocked off the puck. Tubolino picks up the loose puck. Trying to get it out of the zone, doesn't. Potsdam keeps it in the zone. Kelleher. Here's Kelleher. Here's the shot, goes wide into the corner. Murphy after it. Ramo picks it up, however. Flips it ahead, knocked away. Murphy steals in front. Shot saved. And the puck goes into the corner again. Raiders not clearing the zone, back to the point, and it goes out to center ice, and offsides will be the call. Raiders catch a break.
And that whole sequence started when the Raider forward had plenty of opportunity to clear the zone. He tried to be cute. You can't be cute there.
Not leading by 2 goals with just under 10 to go.
And especially with the Murphy line. All you want to do is clear the zone, bank it off the boards, get it out the neutral zone, dump it. He tried to be cute, try to find a winger, and all he did, he banked it off a Potsdam player and kept it in the zone.
Off the face-off, puck to the Massena line. Hatch turns it around, flips on the open wing. Raiders try to move it ahead. Whitcup takes it across. Here's Whitcup, fired it wide. Puck, here's a short side attempt, goes in behind the net. Now bounces free in front. Here's another backhander knocked away. Out to center ice. Potsdam breaking down the wing. Into the zone. Michaud knocks it away. Actually, Hatch knocked it away. Michaud picked it up. Katanzarite now has it knocked away. Whitcup steals. Here's Whitcup in front. Gets a shot off, but it's wide. He had 3 guys hanging all over him. Puck comes to the blue line. Michaud, he takes a shot. It's blocked. Gets it back again in the corner. Here's Michaud. In behind the net. Looks to center. Goes to Katanzarite by him. Toward the blue line. And Potsdam controls to center ice. Picked up by Lazaire. He'll dump it right back in the zone. Heads up play by Colin Lazaire. Puck controlled by Potsdam in their own end. Around the boards it goes. Now Massena making line changes. Mankies throws the check. Comes up with a puck. It's him and nobody else up there for Massena, so he just looks to waste a little time. And now Rupert comes in to help out. Mankies gets free. Looks to center. The official got in the way. And the puck comes bouncing back to Torrey Russell. Russell in behind the net. To the blue line. To the blue line. Not out of the zone. Here's a shot. McGuire steers it in behind. Potsdam clears to the blue line again. This time they'll dump it down the ice. Here comes Potsdam's Cook. Nice check by Brian Hatch. Big check by Hatch. Made a good play. Puck still in the Massena zone, however. Here's a chance in front. It bounces around. Rupert flips it to center ice. Mankies knocked off his stick. Following up is Rupert. He's got Ramo. Takes it across. Offsides as Thomas Mankies went in just a shade ahead of the play. 8:09 remaining third period. Massena up 5-3 on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard.
But the 2 good things, they had the Whitcup unit, then the Rupert unit, Jerry, and it started with the Whitcup. They got the puck deep, and they wasted valuable time. They all say now the clock is Potsdam's enemy. We're down to 8:09, and you get the puck deep. They burned off 30, 40 seconds. The Rupert line did the same. Got it in deep and worked the boards.
Okay, Ramo out there to take the face-off. And Massena picked up a penalty on that play. Interference on Mankeys. Potsdam on the power play. I didn't see it, be honest with you. I can't believe that call.
Whoa, that was a real nickel-dime penalty.
Here's a shot from the point. In behind the net it goes. Ryan Ramo after it. Backhands it. Knocked down by Kelleher. Poked away. Kelleher gets it back again in the circle. To the blue line. Joey Charlebois at the point. Goes to Kelleher. Steps into the circle. Winds up. Fired it wide. Puck comes back to the other point to Corey Healy. He'll flip it on the wing. Knocked away. Goes back toward the blue line. Healy pinches in. He does keep it in. Bounces free, side of the net, and in the corner it goes. Now back to the blue line. Faking the shot is Healy. Moves it in front. Back to the point, Charlebois. Quick snapshot. Save made DeLille. Puck in the corner. We got Murphy out there now, all right. Now Nick Toth taking a whack at it. He and Murphy. Murphy comes away with it in the corner. Poke checked away. Puck around the boards. Back to the point. Healy shot blocked. Levine went down early, but he still managed to get a piece of the puck. Back in behind the net it goes. Bouncing to Nichols. Back to Healy at the point. His shot, knocked down by the Massena defenseman Toth, and it goes up into the stands. And we'll have another face-off.
Boy, I'd like to have a replay of that so-called phantom penalty that Thomas Menkes. In fact, Menkes, I thought, was offside on the play. He was trying to keep himself onside. It was a 3-on-1 break, and I don't know where
I have no idea where that came from. I don't have a clue.
In a game of this magnitude, I just that's a real phantom penalty. I just can't agree. And these guys are doing a good job, but he pulled that one out of the hat, I'll tell you.
Whitcup will take the face-off against Garish in the Massena zone with 20 seconds left in the man advantage. Off the face-off, Whitcup battles for it, and the Raiders get it and dump it down the ice.
Big face-off.
Nick Toth doing a good job there. Puck goes to Michaud as McGuire tried to clear it into the corner. Michaud racing in after it, comes to Whitcup. Michaud and Whitcup go down, but Whitcup keeps the puck in the zone. What a great job. Here's Whitcup in front, shot saved. Rebound, Whitcup got knocked down. It's going to trickle in on McGuire. Penalties elapsed. The Raiders do a good job killing it off. Now it's out to center ice for Potsdam. They try to slide it by. That's Dan Cook, and he'll finally dump it in the Massena zone. DeLille out to play it into the corner to Michaud. Michaud lost his edge. Following up, the Raiders clear it out to center ice. Now it's battling. Here comes Whitcup again. Whitcup will dump it in Potsdam territory. 6:10 left. Raiders up by 2 on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. Comes to the Massena line, gets by Toth. He'll have to circle back in his own zone. Takes it in behind the net. He draws double team. The puck, Toth still has it. Trying to move it to Tubolino. Toth finally gets tied up there by Bobby Ellis. Ellis trying to skate by. It's whacked around the boards, and it'll come to Charlebois. He'll flip it in the corner again. Bounces free to Tubolino. He'll round the boards the other way. Ramo lets it go. Back to the point. Here's a shot deflected in behind the net. Nick Toth. Toth looks. Dumps it off the glass. Trickles out to center ice, back in. Delay offsides. Raiders clear it. And that time they dump it down the ice. They need a change. And icing will be the call with 5:26 left in the third period. Massena's still up 5-3.
One of the things that Dusty DeLille, we've talked about it many times during the course of the year, is handling the puck. Sometimes he misplays the puck, but he's doing an excellent job tonight playing that puck, getting it up to his forwards when need to be, clearing the zone, getting in behind the net, stopping that run around, doing an excellent job handling it back there.
Okay, Kelleher right back out there with his line mate Murphy, the guy you got to watch out for. Massena coming out with a Tubolino line. Face off in the Massena zone after the icing. Raiders up by 2, off the draw. Bouncer in the circle, comes bouncing out by the blue line. Poke check free, and it's still in the zone. Murphy, nice move, poke check to the blue line, out to center ice. It'll trickle back inside Potsdam territory. After it is Charlebois, takes it behind the net. Joey Charlebois flips it out to the neutral zone. Potsdam breaking back. Murphy did a good job to gather that in. Here he comes. Cross, gets a shot. Save made. Rebound. Ramo to the blue line. Battles for it. Gets it out to center ice. Nice job by Ryan Ramo. Ramo coming down 1-on-2. Lost it. Off the end of his stick. Flipped out to center ice. Picked up there by Hall. He'll dump it right back in the zone. Delay offsides on Massena. Raiders clear the zone. Levine coming into forecheck. Potsdam moving it out to center ice. Raiders making that wholesale change. Here's Kelleher's shot. Save made DeLille. He's going to hold on for the face-off.
You know, Jerry, talk about reading the play. Last time down, the Raiders had dumped it in, and Potsdam were there first, had plenty of time. The defenseman's rounding his net. three Massena forwards were down and low. They had no chance of getting the puck. All you do in that situation is send one guy, he pinches, the other two guys have to read that they're going to dump the puck. They didn't. They all went down low. He just dumped it on the boards. Away came Potsdam with an odd man rush. And especially when you're looking at the clock, when you had no chance of getting that, those forwards, those wings have got to stay back.
Whitcup about to take the draw against Russell. Off the face-off. Potsdam wins it back to the point. Here's a drive deflected by a sprawling Thomas Menkes.
Ooh, Thomas Menkes, you talk about giving up the body, and that was a big one. As that Potsdam won the draw, won it back to Danny Cook, and he slid it over on that right side to Trevor Mason, who cranked one up, and there was three blue shirts parked in front. Thomas Menkes coming out, got the body on it.
And who's coming out to take the face-off? Michaud now. Michaud out there with Menkes and Ramo. I'm not sure what's wrong with Rupert, but Michaud will take the draw. Off the face-off in the corner. Hatch with it. It's tied up there. Now Michaud moving it ahead along the boards. It squirts free. Menkes moving it ahead. Didn't clear the zone. And now it comes back to Menkes. He moves it out to center ice. Nice headman pass to Michaud. Takes it wide, and he'll just dump it. Good heads-up play there by Michaud, who's had a pretty good game tonight for Massena.
Outstanding game.
Yes, he has. Here comes Potsdam back the other way. Check thrown at the red line. The puck squirts free. Now Rupert's out there.
They just wanted the other guy for the face-off.
That's what it was. Rupert. And he has nowhere to go with it as Massena in a change. Now he kicks it ahead. Here's Rupert busting in as it poke checked away. Puck along the boards, picked up there by the Stoners. They try to move it out to center ice and do. Here comes Potsdam back the other way. Casey Garish makes the move, knocked away from him. Puck in the corner, Hatch after it. He'll just leave it. Raiders move it, don't clear the zone, however. Now bounces in the circle. Raiders come up with it again. Bounces in behind the net. Potsdam with the puck in the corner. Whitcup just throws a check. He falls down. Puck bounces right across the goal mouth. Into the corner. Here's a shot deflected in front to the blue line, out to center ice. Rupert. And he wastes his time. Now he takes it to the red line. Nice little heads-up play there by the sophomore.
All they want to do now is dump and send one man. Don't get two guys caught low.
Massena doesn't need another goal. What they need to do is keep Potsdam off the scoreboard. Lazaire flip it around the boards. For Leduc, he fell down. Potsdam has the puck out by the blue line. Charlotte boys, he fanned on the shot. Massena trying to clear it out to center ice. Puck knocked away by Michaud. Here comes Murphy. Winds up offsides. Ouch. I think Leduc got the brunt of that shot.
And Aaron Michaud took one before right off the ankle, and he's gingerly making his way to the bench. But again, all Massena has to do right now is gain the red line and just dump the puck, And again, in their own zone, they don't need to be fancy.
Get it out.
Tip it off the boards, tip it off the dash, whatever. Just flip it high. You don't take that chance because Potsdam's going to be gambling. They're going to be staying on that line.
2:49 remaining. Raiders up by 2. Off the face, the puck dumped in the zone. Dusty loses it side of the net. Sharp angle shot. Rebound. Bounces in behind. Back to the point it goes. Here's the drive. Knocked down in front. Raiders just lifted off the ice surface. Leduc, he took another one right in the chest.
I just got through praising Dusty for playing that, doing such a great job handling the puck, and he mishandled that one.
Big time.
Almost right into a Potsdam goal. Oh boy, behind the net, and didn't handle it clearly. Bounced right out in front. I don't know the Potsdam number, but he had a glorious opportunity to make this a 5-4 hockey game. Whew.
It's going to be Marcus Kelleher against Robbie Whitcup in the Massena zone. Off the draw. Well, they haven't dropped the puck yet. Off the draw. Puck goes to Nick Toth. Toth rips it around the boards for Levine. Stops the puck, moves it ahead. Out to center ice to Whitcup. Whitcup takes it and dumps it. Okay, now, stay back, stay back. Whitcup in there battling. He's the guy you want in there now, Levine. Levine circles. And here comes Potsdam back the other way. 2 minutes and a little bit. Here comes Kelleher. Here comes the 3-on-2 for Potsdam. Here comes Kelleher in front. Shot saved DeLille. Puck goes to Hatch. Flips it, not two out. Here's a shot high over the net. Puck goes to Ramo. Ramo golfs it out to center ice. Good heads-up play. Under 2 minutes to play. Raiders by 2. Here comes Joey Charlebois. He'll dump it in the Massena zone. Puck goes side of the net. DeLille leaves it for Hatch. Hatch lost it. Moves it ahead, though, to Levine. Levine to Tubolino. He clears the zone. Goes to Ramo. Hit him. And back comes Potsdam the other way. Here comes Kelleher. Across the blue line. Dumps it, side of the net. Bounces in behind. They battle for it, Murphy. Murphy back to the point. Out it goes, knocked down in front. We got a whistle. Offsides?
Must be. And Potsdam had pulled their goaltender with a 119. I don't understand.
It looked like it didn't come out, but apparently it did. So.
No, it didn't, because he's coming at center ice.
I don't know what the call was.
Maybe. Well, he just made a bad call. That's what it was. He thought it was an offside, and he blew the call.
Oh, the goalie wasn't close enough to the bench before the extra attacker went out there. That's what the call is. So they moved the faceoff out to center ice with 1:19 left in the third period. Massena up 5-3 over Potsdam.
Well, good call, and I didn't see that.
Of course, we're concentrating down at the other end, but one of the officials kept his eye on him, and that's what you want, I guess. Now there's going to be the timeout. Our broadcast being brought to you by Seacom Federal Credit Union, locations in Massena, Potsdam, and Malone. Seaway Orthopedics, Dr. Bedros Bakurtsian and the staff, Outer Andrew Street in Massena. North Country Savings Bank, locations in Massena, Potsdam, Canton, and Ogdensburg, home of the no closing cost mortgage. By the men and women of Alcoa's Massena operations, and by Seaway Tire for quality tires and great car care. East Orvis Street in Massena. 5-3, Massena leads by 2 with 1:19 left in the third period.
And this third period has been, Massena's got the 2 goals, but the Stoners, or the 1 goal, I should say, by Robbie Whitcup at the 3:34 mark. But the Stoners have been coming on and coming on. Goaltender Dusty DeLille having to come up with some big saves. But again, Massena, this last 4 or 5 minutes, just trying to play a defensive mode, dumping spot, getting it low, and sending 1 man in there. And they're 1:19 away, but again, this one's not in the W column.
No, not until that final zero's on the clock, that's for sure.
Captain Robbie Whitcup giving him a little bit of breathing room as he picked up his 14th goal at the 3:34 mark. But, you know, these 2 clubs, as I said, they seem to bring out the best in each other. Massena played, we saw them last Friday night, and they just didn't have any jump to their step tonight. They've got some jump, and the Stoners, I'll tell you, they've come on regardless of win or lose. These 2 clubs have played hard.
Net is empty down at the other end with 1:19 left in the face-off at center ice. Raiders got to watch out not to get into that trap of shooting at the empty net.
Exactly.
From the wrong side of the red line. Robbie Whitcup to take the face-off against Casey Garrish. Raiders win the draw. Toth steps across the blue line, fires it in the net! And Nicky gets a goal he's been waiting for a long time.
The key was the face-off. Robbie Whitcup wins the draw. Potsdam's got 4 guys along the red line. Robbie Whitcup wins the draw, back to his right. Nick Toth got it, took about 2 steps right to the blue line, just flipped it towards the goal. And Joe Charlebois had a chance to knock it down, and he fanned on it. He just right inside the blue line.
He got a piece of it, but not enough of it.
Not enough, and that's the icing on the cake.
Well, still a minute 13,
well,
Coach.
I'm gonna minute 13, but I'm putting this one in the W column, Jerry. If they blow a 3-goal lead with a minute 13.
Okay, Whitcup will take the draw. The net's still empty. Off the face-off, Potsdam. No, Whitcup, he backhands it toward the net, and this one will not go in. Oh, that's too bad.
I would like to see the time on that. It would have been probably about 4 or 5 seconds.
We're down to 1:02. Potsdam out to center ice. Into the Massena zone. Offsides. Potsdam, or I should say Massena catching a break with 57 seconds left in the third period. Face-off will move outside. 6-3. Raiders lead by 3 now.
Captain Nick Toth is second of the year from Robbie Whitcup, and I'll tell you, Robbie won the draw again and flipped it towards the net. That probably would have been a goal in 3 or 4, 2 goals within about 4 seconds of each other.
Okay, Whitcup takes the draw outside the zone. Off the face-off, dumped in, Massena zone. DeLille stops it behind the net. Toth rips it around, or that's Lazier rips it around the boards. Comes out by the blue line. 46 seconds left. Here's the puck right across the goal mouth. Nobody there. To the blue line. Still in the zone. Still in the zone. Potsdam controls. They move it side of the net. Dumped into the corner. 34 seconds left. Raiders pick it up. Out to center ice. And who's got the empty net to shoot at? Eric McDonald. He skates in. Takes it. Lost it. Has it knocked away. That doesn't matter, though, with 20 seconds left. Here comes Michaud at the empty net. He hit a body. The bouncing puck behind the net. Kelleher picks it up with 10 seconds left. Here comes Kelleher in across the blue line. He shoots, the save made. Raiders are going to the championship, gang. As the Massena Red Raiders win it 6-3. And I'll tell you what, a lot of things happened here tonight for Massena to win this hockey game, no question about it.
Oh boy, this game again, it had a little bit of everything. Some great goaltending, clutch goaltending at the right time. The Raiders bouncing back.